everyone. Welcome to the David Goodman Reality and Truth Show. My name is Vanita Lambert, and I really appreciate you guys tuning in. This is a very exciting time for me. It is Medicare annual enrollment. It starts October 15th and it runs through December 7th. And it's just one of my favorite times of the year because I get to help people. And when I first started doing this job as a independent insurance agent, basically I just focused on making money and doing a good job just like everybody else does. But, a few years into the job, I developed a passion for really helping people. So that's why I do what I do, the Medicare insurance. It is so phenomenal. I never thought I would feel this way by helping someone, but it's really a great feeling. And the information is just so important because there's so much misinformation out there. There's so much confusion out there. And then you have the the commercials to compile onto the confusion. So the commercials kind of like, it's a generic brand. It's not a one size fit all. So the way the commercials presented is like it's a one size fit all. Like everybody could get the same thing. You get free this, you get meals, you get this, you get that. You actually have to qualify for that. And one of the ways you qualify for it is by sitting down with an independent licensed agent like myself and asking and answering all of the questions that I ask. So I ask questions about your health. I ask questions about your finances. And, I ask questions about specialists, any medications, things like that. So when I ask you those questions, your answers tell me what to do and tell me what you qualify for. And so I sit down and I customize a plan just for you. And that excites me. I get excited about that. I really, really do. The confusion starts with that gray Connect card. So many people have them and for so many different reasons. So just because you have the gray card and your neighbor may have the gray card, that doesn't necessarily mean that you both get the same benefits. And that's where all the confusion comes in. So the things that you can get on that Medicare savings program, you can get food stamps on it, you can get cash on it, you can get your Part B premium paid for. It all depends on what you qualify for. And there's a lot of information. You have to fill an application and you have to put down your income. But even if you're working, you have to know all the rules, and that's why it's important to sit down with a licensed agent. You have to know all the rules. Like if you're working and you apply for QMB or the Medicare Savings Program, the amount of money that you make, you only have to put down 50% of that. The entire income isn't counted. So if you're filling out the application and you don't know any better and you put down exactly what you make, then you're not going to qualify for the benefits. So it's the information and it's knowing what to put down that's so important. And that decides what you're going to get. And so, yes, I get very excited about that. I sit down with more than 10 families a week, more than 15, as many as I can, and still have a life, and go over all of that information and just explain exactly what the Medicare Savings Program is, how you qualify for it. It is based on your assets. No, I'm sorry, your income, not your assets. So, and a lot of it's not recoverable. So you need to know what all those terms mean. And so basically, I just offer out my services to sit down with people, with families, and do a confidential needs analysis. I will drive to your home, sit down in your house, do a confidential needs analysis, and customize the plan for you and or your family. And make sure that all of your medications are involved, are included in the plan. I'm contracted with different companies, so I don't try to fit you into one plan. I make sure that the plan fits your needs. And if your medications are not all on there, because sometimes the plans may not cover every single medication, but I'll get as many as I can included there. And then just look for coupons and do whatever I can to help you. And be there to answer questions when something goes wrong. And if there is a change, I'll be there for you to make sure that I answer all the questions you have. And if you need to change your plans, just to make sure that I'm there to do that as well. So this is the season. This season is for everyone who is on Medicare Advantage plan. And a Medicare Advantage plan is the same thing as a Part C, just in case you're listening to the commercials. That's more confusion out there. Oh my God. I have to actually mute them now when I hear them because I've heard them so many times. So you have to, make sure that you're getting all of the information and that all of the information is pertaining to you. And let's see here. One of the things that I go over very, very thoroughly is to make sure that you understand the Medicare plan, the Medicare Advantage. And this season is for Medicare Advantage and prescription drug plans. So that's what the enrollment periods are for. If you have supplements, I go through what the difference are between the Medicare Advantage plans and the supplements. And I know you're probably sick of hearing about Medicare, but it's so important. So it really is. So you need to call someone and get your information and get your plan right. Because, you can select the wrong plan and that could be a detriment to your health, just as well as not having a plan at all. So you might as well get it right. And just in case you don't get it right the first time, then there's different enrollment periods. So we'll go over that later. So what I like to go over now is just the A, B, C, and D's of Medicare. And that's how simple it is. I break it down, I explain it, and in a way that you can understand. So Medicare Part A, okay, it's on your red, white, and blue card. Medicare Part A is your inpatient care for hospitals. It's your inpatient hospital care, okay? And there is an annual deductible for that. And I think this year is going to be, coming up in 2023, I believe it's $1,556. Don't quote me on that number because I don't have the information right in front of me and it's brand new. But it has an annual deductible if you don't have any co-insurance. So that's Medicare Part A in a nutshell. That is for your inpatient hospital care, okay? And let's see, Medicare Part B, all right? That's for your outpatient care, for your doctor service, when you go to any outpatient care that's medically necessary, medical supplies and things like that. That's Medicare Part B. Now, there is a cost for Medicare Part B. There's no cost for Medicare Part A. All right, so let's just take a step back. I forgot to say something. Medicare Part A, if you work 10 years or 40 quarters in any combination in this country, then you will qualify and you pay into Medicare, then you'll be entitled to it. So that's how you get your Medicare Part A. You're entitled to it. And there's no monthly fee for it. And then Medicare Part B, there is a monthly fee for it. And it covers only 80% of your doctor visits and medical supplies and outpatient care. And then you're responsible for the other 20%. So the 80%, there's a monthly cost. For 2022, it's $170.10. That's a pretty high number. I don't think it's going to go up next year, but I don't have a crystal ball, so I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't, but that's what it is for 2022, $170.10. Now, getting back to the Medicare Savings Program, that's where you get most of your help from the Medicare Savings Program. It will pay your Medicare Part B premium if you qualify. That's why it's important to know how much of your salary to put down and what your monthly income is. That Medicare Savings Card, Medicare Savings Program, it is based on your monthly gross income only. It does not include any of your assets. For example, you can have a 401k. As long as you're not collecting interest from that 401k that's counted as income, then that will not be included. You could own your house. That is not included, or have a boat or any other assets. They're not included. They don't calculate that. The qualifications for that, the eligibility for that is not counted. So, and it is not recoverable. So if you hit lotto, and so say you qualify for the Medicare Savings Program, and then all of a sudden you hit lotto and your income becomes a lot higher and you don't qualify for it, you don't have to pay any money back. It's not recoverable. So it's important to know that. So that's where Medicare Part B, that's what it is in a nutshell. It is your outpatient care, doctor visits, medical supplies, and it covers 80%. And the Medicare Savings Program, if you qualify, and we will only know that by sitting down and doing a confidential needs analysis, will cover your Medicare Part B premium. Now let's talk about covering the 20%, because remember, Medicare Part B covers 80%. You are responsible for paying for the other 20%. Now there's two ways you can do that. You can go the traditional route of Medicare supplements, or you can go the Part C route, which is the Medicare Advantage route. So if you go the Medicare supplements, and this would be based on a recommendation from me if I'm the person sitting in front of you, depending on how many times you go to the doctor, how many specialists you're seeing, medications, and just depending on your medical history, I would make, and your income, I would make the recommendation for you to either go supplements or Part C. Going the supplement route is pretty expensive. If you qualify for the Medicare Savings Program, I don't recommend going the supplement route. It just doesn't make sense to pay for something that will be paid for you, and that needs to be explained. So, but if you do not qualify for it and you have a lot of illnesses and you're spending a lot of co-pays and you have above average income, then I would recommend that you go the supplement route, which means you would have to pay for your Medicare Part B, which is $170 a month. And then I would probably recommend a Plan G, which is about $146 a month. And then you would also have to pay for your drug plan, which I think the minimum is $25. Full disclaimer, do not quote me on any of the actual prices, but it's in that range, just to give you an idea, an estimate of where you might be if you were to select the Medicare supplement route. But that may be the route you need to go depending on your health and your income. Now, the other way to cover the 20% is the Medicare Advantage, also known as Medicare Part C plan. Okay, the way you cover that, and this is the C of the Medicare. We cover the A, the B, and this is the C. It's called the Medicare Advantage Part C plan. And so what that does, it includes all of the benefits from Part A and B, okay? Plus it covers a supplement, and most of them also have a drug package, a prescription package included in that plan. So it's a package deal. It's kind of like your internet, cable, and TV all wrapped up in one, just to give you, an idea of what I'm talking about. So everything is in that, and most of those plans are very low cost or no cost at all. Okay, zero premium. There's a lot of zero premiums, and then there are some that also have premiums. That'll be up to you to decide what you want to do. But that would be the recommendation for someone that qualifies for the Medicare Savings Program. And the reason for that is the Medicare Savings Program will pay for your Part B. And there's different levels of the Medicare Savings Program. If you qualify for the first level, it will pay your Part B premium, it'll pay all your co-pays, and it will pay your deductibles as long as you go to a doctor in the network. And so that's another, Part C has restrictions. You have to go to doctors in the network. And, the networks are pretty large, and I have 3 different companies that I'm contracted with. So I'm almost, 90% sure, 90 to 95% sure that your doctor's in the network, and or if the clinic is in the network that they may, or medical center that they may work at. If the medical center is in the network, then the doctors are automatically in the network for some plans. They each have different rules, and that's why it's so important to understand what those rules are. And if you don't understand what those rules are, you could be looking at, additional fees. Additional co-pays. Now, another thing with the Medicare Advantage plans, they all have set co-pays. There's a set copay for your primary care doctor. There's a set copay for your specialist, emergency, and so on and so forth. Now, there is also a maximum out-of-pocket cost. They each have different maximum out-of-pocket costs, but the average maximum out-of-pocket cost for the annual maximum out-of-pocket cost is $6,700. You never hear anyone on TV talking about that. You got to give out all the information. Nobody wants to get hit with a bill that they know nothing about. So when I sit down with you, I will explain the good and the bad features and benefits of every single plan and make the appropriate recommendation for you. So the $6,700 is not a deductible. It is a maximum out-of-pocket cost for these Medicare Advantage and Part C plans, on average, not all of them. So basically what that means is that if you go to your primary care doctor and the plan says your copay is $20, you don't pay the whole bill until you get to $6,700. You only pay $20. So that's what I mean by set fees, and the maximum out-of-pocket cost is not a deductible. What that means is that that's the most you could spend if all of the world came falling down on your head and you got a hospital bill or any type of medical bill for, say, $1 million. The most you could pay with these plans would be $6,700 per year. Now, if you pay that in January, then you don't have to pay anything else. The plan will pick up every copay, every deductible, everything for the rest of the year except medications. Medications are always on a separate level. They have their own copays. They're just not included in the healthcare part of it. That's for the Medicare Part A and B and your package deal. So it'll cover your outpatient and your inpatient copays and things like that. So listen, I'm just telling you, it's really, really important that you get the right information. And starting October 15th, I know you're going to be seeing a lot of commercials. I'll be happy to sit down with you and your family and give you a free confidential needs analysis on Medicare to make all of your planning and this plan that you select, make sure it's the right plan for you. Now, what is the difference between the Medicare supplements and Medicare Advantage? If you go the traditional route and you take a supplement, there are no restrictions. You go to any doctor in the country that accepts Medicare. But if you're in a Medicare Advantage plan, then there are restrictions. You have to go to the doctors in your service area and in the provider network, okay? The supplements, you can see any specialist you want without a referral. If you're on the Medicare Advantage plan or Part C, depending on your plan, whether if it's an HMO or a PPO, you may need to get a referral. If it's a HMO, you definitely will need to get a referral. If it's a PPO, you will not. And I know this is, I'm probably getting into a little bit too much detail for you right now, but, and I'm trying to speak to everyone, but my point is you need to customize the plan for you. You and your husband may not need the same plan. Your husband's health is different than your health, or your brothers or your sisters. So you cannot just go by everything that someone else says, especially when it comes to, you know, I get this for free, I get that for free, and so on and so forth. You have to go on what your health says. Like, again, there's no restrictions. You go anywhere across the United States for Medicare supplements, any doctor, and that's a beautiful thing. The key here is knowing what you qualify for. The reason I do what I do is because I came from a community where there was no information. If you don't have the information, you cannot take advantage of the benefits. So get all the information, and that will make your decision making easier. It'll, you know, you'll save money, you'll have the right plan. And I know you guys have gotten, everyone should get, every single year, a Medicare and You 2023, okay? Sometimes it's just not about Medicare, what Medicare does. It's about what Medicare doesn't do. So once you get that Medicare and You book, you can sit down and read it. And I've talked to people that's read the book, and they still have a lot of questions because that book is not customized for you. That's the simplest way that I can say that. It's just not customized for a person. It might fit one person, but it's not a cookie cutter. It's not going to be the right plan for everybody. So some of the things Medicare does not cover is long-term care. Those are the big gaps in Medicare. If you may need post-hospital care. It does not cover custodial care. And custodial care is defined by not being able to perform 2 or more of your daily living activities. What are daily living activities? Daily living activities are being able to take a shower by yourself, or being able to drive or go to the bathroom on your own, or transportation. Oh, I said that. Driving, transportation, not being able to take a shower, okay, not being able to dress yourself. So if you cannot do 2 or more of your daily living activities, then you qualify for long-term care. And if you don't have a long-term care plan in place to protect your assets, then you will have to pay for that out of your assets. And that's one of the things that Medicare does not cover. It does tell you in each book, I don't know what page it's on for the 2023, because I haven't read it yet. They're all basically the same, and they just put information on different pages. But that's one of the things that doesn't cover. And then the thing about that is no one, and this is one of my questions on my confidential needs analysis, no one plans to go into a nursing home. No one plans to need long-term care. It's just unheard of. You know, everybody, you know, the question I ask, have you ever looked into any type of long-term care? And I'm not going to say no one. There's a few people that have, maybe 10% of the people out there, because they think it's unaffordable, or, you know, and they looked into it a long time ago, or they just don't need it. And you never know what you're going to need until you need it. That's what I always say. I know it's an old cliche, but it's true. And if you do not plan for long-term care, if you don't have a long-term care plan, you don't plan to ever get hurt, excuse me. So sorry, I'm battling a cough here. I'm catching a small cold, not COVID, just a cold. Remember, we used to get sick before COVID. Anyway, if you don't have a long-term care plan in place, you'll have to pay for it out of your assets, out of your 401k, out of money you didn't plan to spend on long-term care or nursing homes. If you have a plan, I always recommend it is an asset protection. That's what long-term care is. It protects your assets and it protects your family. And the reason we need long-term care is because people are living so much longer. And I apologize for my voice today. You know, when you start getting sick, it just happens. And I just happen to be on TV. So I apologize for that. But getting back to long-term care, if you don't have a plan in place, it will eat your assets. I've seen it happen to so many people. And when it comes, it's not like somebody died and you have to pay for the funeral. It happens every single day. If you're in a nursing home, nursing homes today in Connecticut are somewhere around $400 a day. That can deplete your assets pretty quickly, if you ask me, at $400 a day. So I recommend just getting all the information on the 4 areas that will impact your life the most. And those areas are your health care, your long-term care, final expense planning, and retirement income. Okay? So that's my little tip for today. I hope everybody takes some information down, and I hope you get all the information you need from a licensed representative for the upcoming Medicare Advantage season. I want to thank you very much for joining me. This is the David Goodman Reality and Truth Show, and we're on your side.